Okay, today we're here with candidate Robert Huckleberry. He is running for Stone County Judge, and I asked him for an impromptu interview about the things that he would do for Stone County and make it a different place for the 21st century. Mr. Huckleberry, can you explain to the voters exactly what you want to bring to Stone County?
Well, first of all, I was asked to run. I did not seek to run. I was asked by both sides to run for Stone County. And so what I did is I asked them for the inputs, for the agenda and the platform. So I did 200 interviews and surveys, and we came up with the People's Platform. You can view that at roberthuckleberry.com. But basically what it came down to was four things. And I summarize it in PIE, P-I-E-S, like Huckleberry Pie. The first P is for public safety. We've had that jail problem for now running, well, it's been more than 4 years. But what they dropped out of the jail was that it was supposed to be a recovery center, a rehabilitation. And now due to the budget constraints for COVID, they've had to reduce that size, and they're about to get rid of that. But that's what the people voted on, was for a rehabilitation detention center. So number one, public safety. Number two, public service. The government exists for the people, not vice versa. So how can we serve the people to make sure that they're prosperous? I got a lot more on that later. The third P is professionalism. None of our employees in the Stone County has a personal information file with a training folder, job description, a career plan, and I want to bring that up to the 21st century. Actually have an electronic file plan for each of the personnel that works in Stone County. The I is for industry, right? We need jobs here. My mom in 1949 left when she was 18 to join the Air Force, and it was only 2 years old. So she raised me from off. When she retired around in her mid-50s, she came back home. And I did the same thing. I joined the Air Force for 27 years, but when I retired, I came back home. People should have the option to stay here and have a job for them. The industry that we're missing, though, that we don't quite get our heads around, is the internet, the rural wideband. You can make 6 figures in Stone County if you know how to code records and bill Medicare. We've got all sorts of online industry that's available. We just don't know how to do it. E-commerce, all sorts of things. So internet, industry, and the E is for an economy that works for young families. Again, I'm focusing on the online industry itself. We have a college, Ozarka College, that teaches business information systems, but yet they don't have a business incubator where someone can actually go in, get their LLC, get their franchise license, get their federal identification number, and walk out with an actual business plan and start their business. We don't teach e-commerce, and that's just, you know, if you want to get on Etsy, Walmart.com, third parties get on that, Amazon, we can just go on eBay, we can go on and on about how to be prosperous here. That's not taught here. We need to bring back that to the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, many candidates that are running for office here in Stone County will promise all different types of things that they're going to bring to the county. Exactly how can the voters hold you accountable to the office in your campaign promises?
Well, we can do by showing up. The reason folks don't show up is they never know what's on the agenda, because it's not printed in the paper a week before we have a quorum court. Why don't we do it on Facebook? Why don't we do it on our website? Our website's just now starting to get rebuilt. And it's interesting, if you go to roberthuckleberry.com, you'll see a website that I built myself for $150. But yet we're going to build multi-$1,000 with monthly maintenance fees to get our website up and running. Again, there's a lot of fraud and abuse here. But you do it by being transparent and have them show up. Again, my mentality is I work for every single citizen in this county. It's not vice versa. No one works for me. The lowest ranking person in this county is the judge, because he works for everybody.
Yes.
And so it's a total different mentality. So again, on my website, you've got my home phone number, you've got an email address. We can go online. I'm on Stone County News You Should Know, which has 6,000 followers. And we use the pulpit, we use the internet, and all electronic means to do it. But why don't we broadcast live the quorum court?
Okay, you're actually running for Stone County Judge. How are you actually going to handle criminal justice reform? There's many people within this county
Yeah,
that does not need incarceration.
right.
They need assistance from the state where they can actually transform from the old lifestyle into a new
Yes.
lifestyle. Now, the state of Arkansas is in debt over the incarceration problem here in this natural state. How are you going to try to help transform the criminal justice system instead of just throw the key at a person and lock them away?
Okay, very good question. The county judge is not a criminal, does not preside over a criminal court or civil court. The quorum court is actually more like county commissioners and county managers. It's an administrative role, so it's not a criminal justice role. However, the quorum court and the judge, as a county manager, does manage the budget, appropriations, taxes, administration, that sort of thing. We can work with the circuit judge, that's where you're getting to, the circuit judge and the
Yes.
district judge for the sentencing. Remember I said that jail was supposed to have a rehabilitation part of it. Part of the rehabilitation doesn't mean incarceration. They could be put on parole, and if they continue their GED classes until they finish their GED, then that could fulfill their parole. We can work with the circuit and the district judges on their sentencing for that rehabilitation.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So they don't have to spend time in a cell physically,
Right.
but we could actually put a program to get them certified to do something. We just opened up a welding school here,
Yes.
and that is a state welding. There's funding available for folks to get trained as a welder. If we make that part of their sentencing and their rehabilitation, we're setting them up for success.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean incarceration. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yes, it
And
does.
I'm talking nonviolent. I'm
Right.
talking nonviolent crimes.
Well, the county has a large percentage of violent criminals that has been incarcerated, but a lot of them has issues that need addressing.
Yes.
And mainly, a lot of the violent criminals within our county and within our state come from a violent background, upraising, active drug involvement. How are you going to help instead of just say, okay, we're washing our hands with you? There's a lot of first-time offenders that have just fallen into the trap of association.
Right. Several things. First of all, violence. Let me put that on the shelf for a minute. Let's talk about mental health,
Yes,
because we have no support for mental health here.
right.
And it's amazing that we have a few inmates that once they get incarcerated, they do really well because the jailers administer their meds on
Exactly.
time. So they get incarcerated, they get in jail, and they do excellent. They're model inmates inside the jail. But as soon as they get out, by whether it's lack of transportation or they just quit taking their meds, they start getting in trouble again, which ends them getting arrested and back in jail. So we have a severe, I categorize that as more mental health issue because it's the chemical imbalances. And once they get it stabilized, they're good citizens. So how do you do that? We go to Little Rock. That's how we do it.
Yes.
We go to Little Rock. Asa Hutchinson, got us into the jail problem because he accepted federal jail standards for all the counties here about 4 or 5 years ago. And that made 75% of all of our county jails basically out of date and failed inspections. So 75% of our counties had to go through a new jail building program. And we wanted to introduce that rehabilitation in that. He's just getting to the point, because he's on his way out, to start building state prisons that have the kind of care that folks need for mental health. But that's not enough. I don't have an answer to that. But I have representatives, I've got senators, and I've got a truck to take me down to Little Rock and pound on people's desks to get it done. All we can do here is make sure we care for them as best as we can when we have them in our care.
Okay, everybody knows Roger Gardner, who's the mayor of our community. He prides himself on transparency and his office being open to the public. Is your office going to be open to the public, to the voters that put you in the office, or are you going to close the doors after you're elected?
Oh, no. First of all, I'm doing this because I was asked to do it.
Yes.
I don't need a job. I don't want a job. But if the people give me a mission, that excites me. Again, I'm a retired lieutenant colonel. I launched satellites for the Air Force. I've had a wonderful, wonderful life and career. I'm not looking to just punch a card and leave every day. Not interested in that. So absolutely. Now, our county is now divided up 3 different ways because of this new census data, and they did a redistricting. So now we have like 3 representatives that are over us now instead of 1. So we have to leverage that, which means I will be in Little Rock more often to be the champion of our county. So will there be days that I won't be there? Yes, but that doesn't mean I can't get back with them and set an appointment and maybe set up a Monday, Wednesday, Fridays or something for open door times. But man, I've got to spend some time in Little Rock. And here's another reason why. We lose out on millions of grant and aid and programs that we don't apply for. And in my dissertation, I did 333 pages of publishing and research. I know how to apply for things. 27 years in the federal government, the bureaucracy and all the paperwork doesn't scare me. Matter of fact, I thrive in that atmosphere. But it does take effort on my part to go knock on the doors to make things happen. So, long question back, I will be busy for you, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, and this interview is going to be concluded, but I would like for you to address the voters directly on why you should be elected tomorrow during the primary.
I should be elected because of you. The voters asked me to run. It wasn't my idea, and I want to honor that. If you want a voice, if you want to say, if you want someone that you can call, whether at my house, email, text, then I'm your guy, and I will get back with you. So, again, this government is yours, not mine. So if you want to say so, then vote for Huckleberry.
Okay. Well, Mr. Huckleberry, I thank you for this opportunity to interview you for the voters of Stone County, and it's greatly appreciated. And the primary is tomorrow, which is May 24th,
Yes.
2022, and I hope that all the voters of Stone County listen to this interview and take into consideration of electing the right person for the right office. And if we decide to actually elect you, I hope that you uphold the promises that you've made to the voters today during this interview.
Absolutely.
And,
it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure too. Thank you.
Thank you.